because of the pandemic. Do you think
The pandemic,
What do you mean?
it was all a hoax to get Trump out of office and Biden in office,
Right.
and to put us all in check.
Well, I've never heard that before. What do you call it?
Plandemic,
I've never heard that before.
planned
So you
event.
think that it was created to?
Right.
But a lot of people that I've spoken to today think Trump did a great job during COVID by getting a vaccine and developing it. And
Well, he tried to get the vaccine out as quick as he could, but I don't think he realized what was going on and what was being played against him.
so,
And he took Fauci's advice, which was the worst thing he could have done.
do you think he lost the election because of Fauci?
No, I think there was a lot of people that were part of him losing the election. State, federal.
I'm Rayy Vana, and welcome back to Rebel HQ. It is officially 2024, and Republicans and MAGA cult members still can't bring themselves to admit that COVID was a very real thing that we all experienced. Nor can they praise Trump for the only good thing he did while president, which was encourage people to get vaccinated. No, he had to have been misguided, being led astray by none other than Anthony Fauci. And yes, apparently they are still calling it the plandemic. New Year, same insane conspiracy theories. Although, there's not even agreement within the MAGA cult as to what the plandemic really means. Here's this guy's interpretation of it.
COVID pandemic changed the country. It destroyed.
So when you say plandemic, what do you mean by that?
Without a doubt, that was the way.
What does that mean? I've never heard that before.
That was a way to fix the last election with mail-in voting and just rigging things for the Democrats. I don't know. My belief is the Democrats, with Dr. Fauci and foreign countries, I think China and Russia were at play to fix the election by releasing COVID.
Oh, so you think that's what that plan is? Like it wasn't a natural?
No, without a doubt, no. Dr. Fauci,
I've never heard that before.
yeah, Dr. Fauci needs to be in prison
For
murder.
And what was his role in that?
He created COVID. He was with the Wuhan lab funding it, and yeah, he was the guy.
This man is not living in any semblance of reality whatsoever and believes complete and utter nonsense that has been debunked time and time and time again. So you might be wondering, where does he get his news that he believes all of this horrific nonsense? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Where is that? Where do you hear that, or where do you learn that?
Social media, news. Yeah,
Where do you get your news, generally speaking?
mostly we do independent journalists. I like Joe Rogan a lot. I like Tucker, Glenn Beck.
Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, and Glenn Beck. Not a single brain cell between the three of them, nor do any of them have a background in medicine or public health that would give them any ability to speak definitively on the pandemic. Although I will say that Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson did contribute a lot during the pandemic. A lot of ignorance and spreading misinformation to their massive audiences. And speaking of misinformation, here is another victim of exactly that. Seemingly also a victim of cheap tans at the tanning salon.
Right. The plandemic, you mean?
What do you mean?
It was released intentionally. That's what I mean. They did it
What?
on purpose so they could use ballot stuffing and
Oh, so COVID, they released COVID so they could stuff the ballots?
yes, absolutely. It was a plandemic. Everyone knows that. It wasn't just a fluke. A bat got out of Wuhan and started this pandemic. It was planned. It was planned.
Donald,
Everyone responsible for it should be at the end of a noose or in prison the rest of their life, right along with Fauci and everyone else that was involved.
And LA Tan's most frequent customer isn't creating this out of thin air. She's repeating what she's been told by media figures like Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, but also by politicians like Donald Trump and his biggest sycophant, Carrie Lake.
They've already pulled COVID on us, right? And killed how many of us? They've already stolen elections. They've already, like you said, destroyed all of our basic rights in our Constitution to try to steal. They can't win based on principle or ideals. What do we do? What's the answer here?
These are some of the most corrupt, disgusting, evil people in the world.
Incidentally, those are the exact words I would use to describe both Donald Trump and Kari Lake.
They're pushing this globalist agenda, and they don't care who they destroy in the process. They've got to win and get that globalist agenda move forward. And the one man that's most dangerous to that globalist agenda, which, by the way, will be the end of America, the globalist agenda, the one man standing in their way is the man you just saw on your screen, President Donald J. Trump. And that is why they unleashed viruses. They've tried to destroy economies. They've tried to shut down the country.
If we all took a shot every time she said globalist agenda in that 30-second clip, we'd be almost as drunk as Kari Lake must be to say all of that horrific nonsense. I don't even think that she knows what the hell she's going on about in that video. But one thing that clip does highlight is how this MAGA cult misinformation all comes together. It's not just vaccine misinformation or election denial. It all comes back to the big lie. They have to tie it together. They can't just face the fact that their candidate, Donald Trump, lost. It has to be tied to some evil global cabal pulling the strings behind the scenes. They can't understand that people didn't want him to be president. We saw 4 years of destruction he caused the country, and we said we won't let him have 4 more. And it's important to remember how horrendous his presidency was. That during a press conference about COVID, he suggested that drinking bleach might solve the issue. That he suggested we put a nuclear bomb inside of a hurricane. That he suggested we put up medieval moats with crocodiles at our southern border. Because this year is an election year, and that man is on the ballot once again, and it's up to all of us to reject him. Otherwise, people like Tanny McLeatherface are going to be the ones picking our future president.